Red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Protecting people, I just seen guys spend $100,000 in the Hermes store on their girl. And then 2 months later, they hitting me up, bro, loan me 20, bro, about this going on. They done spent it on chasing females. I said, me, I'm only gonna talk to the girls who like me. I'm not finna go talk to the lady I like, because the lady I like, if she don't like you, bro, you gotta go through all type of hoops to get her to deal with you. And the first time you make a mistake, she gonna treat you bad.
Hey guys, welcome to Dark Arts podcast, where we help you guys go down the rabbit hole and avoid manipulation in the dating game. Look, I want to tell you, because we're doing a series about, if she likes you. I'm going to tell you this now. Listen, if she likes you, you will not have to overcompensate. If she likes you, you won't have to do too much, because you won't have to try and impress her. She likes you. But in most cases, when people choose somebody, they're choosing someone that they have to impress. So one of the things that often goes first is your finances. You're going to have to spend a whole lot of money to impress her. When really and truly, the girls that actually like the men that they want actually don't have to spend that much money on them. What am I saying? Am I saying don't spend the money on girls? No. What I'm saying to you is the reason why you have to spend so much money, the reason why you're doing the absolute most, and you know when you're doing over the absolute most, when it stretches your budget and goes beyond. Now, of course, if you have enough money and you don't have to ask somebody for money, then it's within your budget. You're not doing too much. You're doing too much when it stretches you beyond what your capabilities actually are, or sustainability of actually doing those things over and over and over again. So if somebody likes you, I'm telling you this now, if that girl likes you, you won't have to overcompensate. But before we go any further, do me a massive favor before I talk a little bit more about this. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to break some things down for you. Look, the dating game is a very harsh place right now in 2025, and everybody's complaining. The men and the women are complaining about the opposite sex. I want to say this first and foremost. If you are somebody listening to this video or other videos, and your first thought is complain about the opposite sex, you are the problem. I need you to stop being a professional victim in 2025. Stop being a professional victim. But I'm speaking specifically to the men today, because we're talking about the women. Stop being a victim. Right? You can watch all the content you want and talk about how bad women are, but the problem is you keep seeing bad women, you keep encountering bad women, and you keep dating them. That's on you. Okay? Because there are great women out there. So if you keep meeting the bad ones, you need to change something. To get a different output, you need to change the input. So the first mistake is that you are choosing incorrectly, because something in the way that you are processing and analyzing and discerning the kind of woman that you want and like is problematic. The root cause is you. It's not the bad market, it's you. People are still investing in a bad market. In fact, there's a saying that says, something to do with like in chaos, this is the best time to invest. When people are in disarray, when the market is seemingly broken, that's the best time to invest. The rich people are investing because they know exactly what to invest in. What does that say? It means that you need to know who to invest your time, your energy, your love, your care, everything like that. You need to know what a good investment looks like. If you don't know what a good investment looks like, and you're complaining about the opposite sex all the time, oh, they're bad, they're this, women are this, women are that, you are the problem. Okay, that's the first and foremost point. Number two, I want to say this. Look, doing too much is a symptomatic it's symptomatic of somebody who doesn't know their worth, and it's symptomatic of somebody who believes that other person's worth is more greater than theirs. That's why you're doing too much. You're doing too much to impress. You're doing too much when you're texting them. You're doing too much when you call them. You're doing too much when you want to take them out. You're doing too much. And doing too much, here it is again. I'm going to explain it again, what doing too much is, and how you can notify yourself when you're starting to do too much. When you are having to really think about how to impress the person, what I mean by that is not that you're planning. A good planner is necessary to a good dating, and I'm not going to say that's wrong. But when you have to sit there and crack your brain, and then you have to come up with this extravagant plan that takes you completely out of your comfort zone, all the way out left, right, to a point where you're spending way too much finances. It's beyond your budget. You're spending too much energy. It's way beyond your budget. You're thinking way too hard about what you're going to wear. It's beyond your thought process and your normal thinking. Then you are starting to drift into an area where you're starting to overcompensate because you've pedestalized the other party. Think about it. When you don't overcompensate, how do you turn up? Right? Now, I'm not saying don't dress sharp. I'm not saying don't spend a bit of money. I'm not saying don't smell good. I'm not saying don't look good. What I'm saying to you is, when you know that person's on your level, how do you show up? You don't do too much, right? You're not trying to make her laugh. You're funny. You're not trying to make her laugh. You're funny. You're not trying to spend money. You're happy to spend cash because that's what you do anyway. You know what I'm saying to you, right? You're happy to have conversation with her, right? And talk, because that's what you normally do. But when you're having to chase the person and having to, call them 3 or 4 times and they're not picking up the phone call, you're now overcompensating. Right? You're now chasing. You're no longer in your masculine frame. You're now beginning to chase what she should be doing. You are now doing. And I don't even like women chasing, because I don't think anybody should be chasing anybody. If we actually mutually like each other, nobody chases anybody. We actually come together and get drawn to one another. Right? So that's a real big issue in that particular space, right? So my thing here for you is focus on what would happen if that girl you didn't feel like was out of your league. If she was on your level, how would you behave? Would you call normally? Would you text normally? How would it be? Well, how would you behave when it comes to taking her on a date? Would you try and go to the most extravagant restaurant you've never been to just to impress her? What would you do? See, when you start thinking of it that way, apply that to the same girl. And I'll tell you why. Because if that girl doesn't want that, she doesn't want you. Because that was you. Right? Unless you've upgraded all of a sudden and you're going to stick to that and it's sustainable to upgrade yourself, what are you doing? Unless it's sustainable to upgrade yourself, what are you doing? You're causing yourself more issue. You're actually stretching yourself beyond its capabilities. And what's going to happen is you're going to snap right back to where you were. Whenever you try to expand yourself to something that you're not ready for, all that's going to happen is you're going to snap back to reality where you once were, because you're not ready for that new reality that you're actually standing in. So the brain needs time to catch up. And so it takes a bit of time of readjusting. The question is, are you willing to readjust? That's the key question. Are you willing to readjust? Okay, so my final sentiments, just to kind of conclude this for you. Once again, if you're always complaining about women in the dating market, you are the problem. Stop thinking about them and stop complaining about them always being this, that, and this and that. Look for what you actually want. Why is it you're in a shop and say they don't have X, Y, and Z? Go to the shop where you go to get what you want. You want fruits? Go to the fruit shop. Why are you in a chocolate shop looking for fruits and then complaining that the shop don't have no fruits? Right? So it's the same thing principle. Invest in the right woman and invest in the right people by first investing in you, making sure you've done the healing journey and the healing work that you need to do. What does that mean? That sounds like jargon. When I say about that, is sit down with yourself and actually begin to analyze, why do I make the decisions that I actually make? Why do I like what I like? Why do I do what I do? One must sit with themselves first and analyze themselves and get to know thyself, to know what they like about thyself, to know that when someone likes you, you know they actually like you. Okay? And thirdly, again, do not overcompensate. Don't do anything that you weren't actually doing before. Don't try to overly impress her, because all those things, if she really likes you, she likes you as you are. That doesn't mean don't make any effort. It means why stretch yourself beyond your capabilities and sustainability when you weren't doing that in the first place, right? And you won't be able to sustain that pace in any way, right? You're taking it to Paris. You don't even go to Paris. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because you want to impress her. You're trying to impress her with the things that you can do, not with who you are. And whenever you try to impress people with what you can do rather than who you are, you're going to always have to stay in that place of what you can do rather than who you are. And very much so, that what you can do potentially could change in the future. But who you are will always be you. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. It's another one of those videos that we have to give to you guys. Listen, let's go down that rabbit hole. But baby,